Welcome into Steelers Latest, your daily spot for all news and information related to your Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm your host, Cole Denis, and please like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content to stay up to date with everything Steelers. But let's get rocking as social media has been ablaze since the Ravens Steelers game concluded on Sunday. And Monday, mainstream media fanned the flames with the officiating of the Ravens Steelers game. Fans have been calling out the refs all weekend. I think the NFL actually came out saying they had officiating mistakes in the Ravens Steelers laws. The mishandled unnecessary roughness penalty in the second quarter on a defensive tackle during our field goal attempt that led to us scoring a touchdown on that drive. I don't have much of a comment on that one because I don't know. Don't pay too much attention to those special teams rule. If they felt it was unnecessary roughness, they did run over the long snapper on the play. You don't see that too often on field goals where long snappers get plowed through. So I can see how it's unnecessary roughness, but I can also see the argument for it being football. You got to expect to be hit sometimes. You can't just protect every player, of course. But the main issue for fans is coming down between the Rodgers catch that was initially ruled an interception changed to him being a catch. I think it was clear and obvious. He had possession of the ball, 2 feet on the ground. The football move is him going to the ground to protect himself. You see a lot of receivers out there catch the ball and fall to the ground. That counts as a catch. That is the football move. They've completed the process of the catch going to the ground. Their fans are arguing he didn't complete the process to the ground because it gets ripped out of his hands. You see, in many cases, the simultaneous possession rule be pulled out when there's multiple hands on a ball in the end zone or anywhere else on the field. So I don't understand why there's so much complaint with this one. But then you go to the Isaiah Likely catch. I can see why a lot of fans feel that it was a completed catch because he got 2 feet down in the end zone. And now people are arguing him having the ball fully extended is his football move. My issue with that is his arms never were not fully extended. His arms were always fully extended in the process of the catch. So he didn't move them away from his body or towards his body. I think if he does either, it will be a rule to catch on the field and discussion. But because it stays in the same position the whole time, I think because of that is why the overturn comes into play later on. And it goes the Steelers' way, of course. I do think it is the correct call. He didn't really turn upfield, didn't turn any direction on the field. He didn't move the ball at all when he had possession of it. He didn't try to tuck it, didn't full I mean his arms were already extended, so the only thing he could do was tuck it to really count, in my opinion, as that football move. But a lot of fans calling out the referee in this game. But in my opinion, let's be honest. You don't if you're good enough, you're not going to let the games be in the hands of the refs. You're going to blow teams out. And the Ravens just aren't a good team this year. And may I remind Ravens fans, Kenny Pickett has one less win in this rivalry than Lamar Jackson. And Kenny Pickett hasn't played in this rivalry in 2 years. So that is just my reminder to Ravens fans out there that be better. Don't leave it up in the hands of the refs for you to win games against us. You guys have been struggling against us for years. It's not been the refs' fault for years. We just have figured you out. We know how Lamar plays. We know how to shut Lamar down. And we do it on a consistent basis. One of the most consistent bases any team is able to shut down Lamar. But let's move on to the injury report from this game because there were a pile of injuries in this one for the Steelers. 5 injuries. You had 2 concussions with Darnell Washington and Andres Pete going out with concussions. Washington was a big loss. You know, I love me some Darnell Washington, some Mount Washington. Hopefully, he'll be back soon. Hopefully, it's not a severe concussion. Andres Pete also was filling in as left tackle in this game. So we had to go to our third string tackle, Dylan Cook, who played his first snaps in the NFL. But hopefully, Cook, if he has to maintain his standing there as the starter left tackle going forward, until Pete recovers, until Jones recovers. Hopefully, he can continue to play solid football. He didn't look at this weekend. Another injury. Linebacker Malik Harrison suffered a concussion on a hit with Derrick Henry. He hit running back Derrick Hunt Henry on the side of the leg and was unconscious before walking off under his own power. So hopefully he's able to recover fast. He's one of our run defenders, one of the linebackers we bring in to stop the run. Now, is he that necessary of a part of this team to really get into a flow state for this team? I wouldn't say so. The run game, we haven't been able to stop with him on or off the field, so I don't think that changes much. But you always want to see players get healthy. Wide receiver Ben Skoranek also battling a finger injury, and tackle Keanu Benton had an ankle injury. Hopefully, he'll be able to return next week against the Dolphins, though. But those are our injuries. Hopefully, everyone can heal up fast. Looking for speedy recoveries. But let's talk about a player that's actually balling as of recently. And Eccles shows why we got rid of Darius Slay this past week. Because Brandon Eccles, in the past couple weeks, has played pretty phenomenal football. I know our secondary has been struggling, but Eccles is not really a reason why. You see him make consistently 2 to 3 plays per week, which as cornerback, that's all you can really ask for because you're really only getting reps when the ball is thrown your way. And Eccles was able to get a sack on Lamar Jackson this weekend, running through a offensive guard. So Eccles getting it done on many fronts. He's been great with the ball in the air. A couple defended passes in the past couple weeks, a couple interceptions, or one interception last week against the Bills. Looking pretty good. Looking like the secondary has some life in it. I'd love to see Asante Samuel Jr. get even more reps out on the field because I do think the secondary could elevate even further. And if the secondary really finds that groove where we can start shutting down teams, I know that's a hard ask because Lamar still threw for over 200, but a lot of them came in the fourth quarter. Now, is that a good thing? That means the Ravens were losing, but allowing a lot of yards in the fourth quarter means they're able to get back into the game. So, love to see that kind of calm down. Hopefully, we can play 4 quarters of defense and offense one of these weeks. But as of now, Brandon Eccles is showing us why we didn't need Darius Slay. Darius Slay was more of a hindrance when he was on the team, while Brandon Eccles already given some splash plays in a couple of games. Slay can't really say his time in the Steelers. I saw any splash coming from him. Let's wrap up with this show talking about our path to the playoffs. The Steelers are 2 wins away from a playoff berth. And what I mean by this is we could lose 2 out of the next 3 games. We got the Dolphins, the Browns, or the Lions and the Browns before we play the Ravens again. We just have to win one of those. And the Dolphins and the Browns are great contenders to be the games we win in that. And that could, just winning 2 out of those 3 games could seal us the division, could give us a playoff berth. You know, we're 2 wins away from shutting down Cincinnati's chances at the playoffs. And the Ravens, with their tough schedule here, they got New England, they got the Packers, they got the Bengals, they got us. I can see them losing all 3 of those games before they play us. If they lose all 3 of those games, that just means we just need 1 win, of course. But I don't. We know the Ravens are going to win one of these games. I feel like it's going to be against the Bengals, and then it's going to come down to the final week of the season where we play each other again. And that was the second game I'm talking about. If we just win one, either against the Dolphins or the Browns, and then one against the Ravens to close the season, the division's a wrap. We're going to the playoffs. We're probably the 4th seed. We might be playing the Bills or the Patriots. We pray to God it's the Patriots because the Bills, they have our number. The Patriots, they're a younger team. So going up against Josh Allen or Drake May, I'm going to choose Drake May anytime this year, especially when it comes to playoff football because Allen's crazy. But that is the Steelers' playoff path. We control our own destiny. 2 out of the final four games we need to win, and three very winnable games coming up. You could say the Lions is a very winnable game, but we've struggled against the NFC North this year. Not gonna put that in as a win. I think before the season, I put it in as an L. So there is a good path. We control our own destiny. That's all you can ask for at this point of the season. This has been Steelers' latest. I've been your host, Cole Denis, and I will see you tomorrow.